Hello everybody, my name is Star Wars Boy, how are you? And welcome back to the channel for a brand new Star Wars Battlefront 2 video. In this video, we continue the reinforcement series where I left it off a few months ago. Today we're going to be looking at the Imperial Death Trooper. Before I start the video, I just want to let you guys know that only a small percentage of viewers are actually subscribed. So if you're not subscribed, be sure to subscribe. It's completely free and it helps out the channel. Anyways, let's get started. Taking a look at the Death Troopers, they have a battle point cost of 1.5 thousand in Galactic Assault. Their base health is 320 with a health regeneration of 320. Their weapon is of course their E11D, which they did get in the original trilogy co-op update in March. The damage per hit is 40 to 25 with a DPS of 200 to 125. The range is decent, coming in at 20 to 40 meters, and the overheat is 15 shots. Taking a look at the Death Troopers base abilities, their first L1 ability is called Sonic Imploder and has a 28-second cooldown. They throw a grenade down which blurs enemies and subdues them. The damage is 150, which is able to one-hit all classes except the heavy. As for the pros, it has a good blast radius and blinds enemies while having great damage. As for the cons, the blur is not very effective for this. You may think it's really good, however, it's not as good as you may think. His R1 ability is called Fortify and has a 23-second cooldown. Use Fortify to temporarily boost the Enforcer's health. This is a pretty basic ability, which is one ability that all the Enforcers had at launch. The duration is 18 seconds. As for the pros, it gives you 175 bonus health and has a pretty long duration. As for the cons, however, a 23-second cooldown is pretty long. However, other than that, this ability is really good in giving yourself a boost of health. His final middle ability is called Overload and has a 16-second cooldown. This overrides the weapon's factory settings and modifies it to fire much faster. The duration is 9 seconds. As for the pros, it increases the fire rate to 360 RPM and allows for really fast movements. Most Enforcers that have an Overload ability are restricted to walking movement. However, the Death Troopers can actually sprint while having this ability active. As for cons, I can honestly say none. The E11D at rapid fire is one of the best abilities and weapon combos in the game. Taking a look at the Death Trooper star cards, these are 3 cards that I personally recommend using all the time when using the Death Troopers. The first card is Expert Weapons Handling. You're able to keep your middle ability active for a longer duration, from 17% to 66% with a maxed out star card. The Death Trooper's Overload is amazing paired with his E11D, and being able to have it active for a longer duration is going to help you a lot. It only has a 9-second duration, so being able to increase that is going to help you a lot. The next card I recommend is the Enforcer Training card. You gain a small amount of health for each defeated enemy, from 13 health to 50 health with a maxed out star card. This card is pretty much a given. Although you do regenerate your health completing the max, this is going to help you a lot. A lot of times with Enforcers, you'll die because you simply take a lot of hits from other enemies. So being able to regenerate health from each kill you get is going to be really helpful, especially if you're spamming that Overload in narrow hallways. The final card I recommend using is Battle Hardened. Maximum health is increased from 5% to 20% with a maxed out star card. This card is again a pretty simple one, which I think you should always run with every single Enforcer. Getting more health is good for every single person. Why would you not want extra health? So I definitely recommend using this one, as you're going to get your health from 320 to 350. Now, most of the tips and tricks for the reinforcements are pretty much all same to each other. So instead of going over some tips and tricks, we're actually going to be going over canon info from the different reinforcements in Star Wars. The first one is that the Death Troopers actually did use a very amount of blasters. They commonly use the E11D blaster carbine, however they also use the SE14R repeating blaster and the DLT-19D heavy blaster rifle, which is the weapon that they originally had in Battlefront 2 and did have in Battlefront 2015. They were also trained with smart rockets and hand-to-hand combat. Death Troopers were first added into Star Wars canon in Rogue One: A Star Wars Story. They've been seen in The Mandalorian, Rebels, and other Star Wars comics, including games like Galaxy of Heroes and of course Battlefront 2. A fear throughout the galaxy was that Death Troopers were actually reanimated flesh, turned into deadly soldiers. Palpatine fed on this fear, so he named this deadly squad of troopers Death Troopers. The original Death Troopers in Star Wars canon were the Blackwing virus, which is now Legends. A Star Destroyer filled with this virus actually spread throughout the destroyer and caused all the stormtroopers to turn into zombies. In canon, the Death Troopers actually did go under a lot of scientific enhancements while going under training. Death Troopers are very famous for talking like Danny G. This is so that their enemies can't actually hear what they're talking about and have no idea what they're saying. Even their head officers don't know what they're saying, and they actually have to turn these voice scramblers off to talk with them. We see this in Star Wars Rebels. Death Troopers can communicate amongst themselves with these voice scramblers as they have radios in their helmets. The Death Troopers were shown protecting hierarchy officials in the Tarkin initiatives, such as Grand Moff Tarkin and Director Krennic. In the comics, they were also shown under Vader's wing. So that is going to be it for this reinforcement guide, guys. We have a lot more videos coming up in December as I want to kind of increase the amount of content on the channel. We're not just going to be going over reinforcement guides, but we're also going to be doing a bunch of unique content for the channel. If you do want to see that, be sure to turn on post notifications and subscribe if you haven't already. See you guys next time. Bye, and may the Force be with you always.